Hey, WealthLab 8 users glitch here. And today we're going to talk about what's new in WealthLab 8 build 107. And we have a guest here today. He's known on our forum as bjtrademan. And the reason he's here is because we recently had a concierge session where BJ Trademan and I got together for several hours and implemented his strategy idea that he wanted to realize in WealthLab. So this is a service that we offer if you have ideas that you want to see implemented and you kind of want to get a head start, you can go to our website and click support concierge service, and we'll be glad to work with you to get these ideas realized as quickly as possible. So, BJ Trademan's, I feel funny calling you that all the time, so I'll call you by your name, Brian. How's that?
That's perfectly fine.
So, Brian, what was your impetus for wanting to get together and kind of have this session?
Well, most of my trading, I don't want to say it's completely on a gut feeling, but it's not like how, at least from what I've watched on YouTube videos and that, how people normally trade, where they set a stop and they set a take profit, and that's the way it rolls. And I'm more of I kind of roll with it, and if the trade's going south a little bit, I'll average down, and generally speaking. I mean, not all the time, but a lot of times it works. And I was just trying to figure out a way to get WealthLab to kind of think like me. And it just really was escaping me. And so I felt that getting some time with you would really help me learn how you do these things, as well as see if you could actually do what I do. And you did. I was pretty amazed.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very smooth session. I mean, I have to say, you laid out in clear terms kind of what you wanted the strategy to do. And like you said, there's like using some indicators here. There's a main entry, and then after the one position is established, then there's certain levels where it averages down and kind of scales in. And then there's a limit to that. So we don't want to keep scaling in indefinitely. And then there's an exit. So, we very quickly put together that and had it running on a few symbols that you run a scan every day, I think on Webull, and maybe you mentioned Thinkorswim, a couple different tools that you identify symbols that are having unusual activity, like even in the pre-market. Is that right?
Yeah. I try and look for things that have high volume, and then I look for the percentage gain to be over about 20%. And then I take those symbols and kind of look and see which ones are moving or which ones have volume. And those are the ones that I would normally trade. So it's very easy for me to still do that and then put the symbols in here and just let it rip. And it's pretty amazing how close it is to being me. It almost feels like my essence has been taken out of me and put in the computer, which is kind of cool.
Well, glad to hear. So yeah, let's take a look at, we have your strategy here running in build 107. And another reason I wanted to have you on this What's New in Build 107 video is because the session that we had inspired some new changes for Build 107. So we have a couple of streaming charts with your strategy dropped into the chart. So if anyone is curious, you open up a chart in WealthLab. Here we have a 1-minute chart. You turn on streaming, and then you just take your strategy and drop it right into the chart. So we have your strategy here in 2 live streaming charts. And we added for Build 107 these kind of improved heads up display of your current status of the strategy. So it tells you how many positions you have open. It tells you what your total cost basis is. It tells you what your close profit for the day is. So the profit of trades that were closed on that day. And then it tells you your running profit of your open positions. And so if you notice, as this real-time price updates, this open profit is updating live. So it's giving you a up to the second value of what your open profit is. So these are kind of the new changes we added to Build 107. We also have a flatten button here now. So if you're feeling like out of control in this symbol, you can flatten this, which will basically close any open positions for that symbol. So let's take a look and let's look at the first symbol here. Intrusion, INTZ. Did you trade this pre-market also? Should we turn on pre and post market data, do you think?
Sure, and I did this morning before I had to go, and then I didn't get back until
All
just a
right.
little bit ago. So
So let's uncheck this box and that will reload the data with the pre and post market data. So if we look at the pre-market of INTZ, so it looks like here we begin at about 4 a.m. So we had an exit from the previous day, but then here's the first entry, which was actually a 66% profit. I hope you captured that one in your trading.
well, maybe we should explain a little bit about the strategy.
Sure.
How I don't really look at how many, like, my position size as far as how many shares of stock I'm going to buy or anything. My whole goal is to make $100 on every trade, no matter what.
Yep. Right. And the position size is actually coded in your strategy. So it's using kind of what the position size calculations that we determined.
Yes.
And here on this first trade, there's your $100 profit right off the bat. So that that would have been a nice start for your very early morning. I'm not sure
Yes.
if you do get up at like 4 in the morning to start this, but in this case, it would have paid off. And as we go a little bit further into the morning, here we're at about 6:30. We have an entry. Price continued down. We have another entry, then even another one. So here we're scaling in, like you said, as things keep kind of legging down. It's
Yes.
scaling in further and further until finally here after the open, like at around 12:40 p.m., we got our exit criteria, which is the $100 profit collectively on all of the positions.
Yes.
And then we begin a couple or a new, and so now we're two positions in, and that's why we see two positions here with a open profit of or open loss of about $40. So we're waiting for this to either go further down where we'll get another position or go up where we'll be able to sell everything at your $100 target.
Yes.
So let's look at the other symbol. How did that one do? LITM, Snow Lake Resources.
You want to uncheck the pre-post filter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good call. So there we go. So let's see. We didn't have any activity in pre-post on this one, but there was an exit from a previous day's position. And then here is an entry that happened right after, and it looks like it's currently in a holding pattern. This one looks pretty flat so far for the day, but it's currently at a $25 open profit.
Yep.
So there we
That's
go. We
great.
have some new interesting information on your live trading for WealthLab 8 Build 107, all thanks to bjtrademan's concierge request to do some custom development of his strategy. And after a few hours of work, that was completed and up and running. And it led to these nice updates. Anything you want to add here, Brian?
I was just really amazed. It's like as fast as I could talk, you were coding, and it truly is amazing watching you work when you're doing that.
Well, I mean, I have a few years left before the AI is going to completely devalue me, right? So
AI's got nothing on you, man.
I'm going to take advantage of those last few years.
There you go. That was really
So
great. Thank you.
we do have another feature implemented in Build 107. I'll talk about it very quickly because it was the number one requested item on our wish list, and that was in the strategy monitor. If you add a strategy to the strategy monitor, we now have a new option, enforce maximum open positions from the strategy monitor's settings position size. So here on the position size, we're saying we want a maximum of 3 open positions. So previously, this wasn't enforced on a strategy by strategy basis, but now with this new option here, you're able to enforce each strategy you add to the strategy monitor can enforce its own maximum open positions defined in the position size. So there we go. Those are the new items for WealthLab 8 Build 107. And thanks very much, Brian, for joining us and giving us a peek into your strategy.
And thank you for helping me out. Appreciate it.
All right, no problem. And see you later, everybody, and see you all on the forum.